All right. Let's continue with our piece here as we let me get this focused correctly with our piece that we're working with here. Okay, now as we look at our piece, of course the head is too big and all this stuff, and this does have to come back some. But the main thing is we have to cut that all down. It all has to be cut down. It all has to be gotten together. Now, as we look at it, we're starting to get a little bit better as far as our stuff is. But let's go ahead and bring this arm back even further. And that's the good thing about it. See, we're already at the halfway mark. If we look to the side here, we're already at the halfway mark of where our arm is, and we're going to come down just a little bit, even a little bit more, and get to that halfway mark right there. That means that we've come down quite a bit on that. Now, as we look at it, of course, an arm does not come all the way up to the head like that. So the arm has to come down like this. So, you know, and same thing here. This is still a little bit too high. So that has to come down. Just like that. Okay. Now, let's see where I'm sitting on. Okay, I don't know what I was looking for here. I'm sorry. I apologize. All right, let's just kind of work on the brim of the hat a little bit. Of course, everything is out of proportion right now. And we work from the back and we work from the front as well. And of course the brim itself is too thick, so what we want to do is bring this brim down. Now before I actually begin to make the brim round, I go ahead and take pieces off the brim, or take this off the brim, which then makes this area even here a little bit thicker. But as we can all see, the brim is way too thick. We don't usually cut it very thin on the bandsaw. Now we can cut it thinner on the bandsaw, but we usually don't, because can end up breaking it very easily that way. Okay. You want your knife to be sharp so you can cut this brim. Okay, see, it's getting thinner and thinner as we work with it. All right, and now I'm going to start kind of just bringing that brim around on both sides. Of course, it's sticking out way too far. Just kind of bring that brim in quite a ways. Okay, just sort of like that. Of course, once again, it's still too thick. So before we bring it down any more, I want to go ahead and make that brim. Excuse me for 1 minute. I'm going to go ahead and sharpen my knife a little bit more because okay. I do that a lot of times. I should have sharpened it before I started my there we go. Much better. Much better. Okay. All right, we're straightening up that hat a little bit. Okay, we're gonna let's go get away from the hat for just a minute, and let me do this just a second. Kind of getting around on this brim. And now you can see why it's so easy to break the brim. In other words, whenever you start doing things to it, in other words, it becomes very small. Okay. Okay. Now what we're probably going to do is we're going to bring the beard and let it kind of come up this way, and let the beard sort of come up this way, and then sort of go down here with let the beard come up. No, let the beard come up this way. I'm sorry, and then come down here with the hair. So anyway, gonna make this a little bit more defined in here. Okay, now let's go back here to this hand and just sort of make this, and let's bring this up to the back of the hand or the arm, and let's just cut that, and then cut from the inside coming down like that. Okay, therefore that makes the arm now away from the body, from the back, and we'll go ahead and draw our hand, which will be right in here, and we'll sort of, and we take it, we come down like that, and we come from the inside and we start working that way. Now the arm is going to have to come down even more, but we have now set our boundaries for our hand, just like we did with the other one. In other words, just like that. Now I'm going to put a maybe a shovel or a hoe in his hand here, because he is a working man. So there will be an implement of work in his hand. So I want to make it the front of it as round as possible, where I can work with it. Okay, as you see, there it is, and I'm going to drill a hole in there and maybe put a shovel or something in his hand like that, because your Amish are very big for working. So let's come in here, there it goes, and make it even more possible. Now let's come in the back here and go ahead and divide that as well, because that's where his pants are going to be. And let's just sort of come here, sort of get our these saw marks off as we begin to now this area of course has to be brought down. This is where his pants are, and this will have to be, what we do is we come across here like this, and we begin to cut in like this to show how the arm, see, sort of comes like that, but you have to bring it in even more. You have to bring it in quite a bit. See, now that's, of course, the arm is way too thick, and then you have to bring this in where it matches. There it goes, where it comes down. And then you have to sort of work this out also as well. In other words, just a second. And bring this in some, of course. Now, with this, we'll work on this in a little bit. And let's get this hand sort of rounded, not rounded, but it's, you know, we'll shape it here in a minute. Okay, now what we need to decide on, and let's take this off like this. What we want to decide on is, I'm sorry, let me come back with a feet here too. Come back with a feet here. I think my time is up. Let's look at our piece here. We're slowly but surely bringing it to the area that we want it to be in. In other words, what we're going to do, and okay, we'll come back. Okay.